Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, we are down to the final 2 Straw Hat members for the What If series, where I talk about what if the Straw Hat Pirates who currently don't have a Devil Fruit suddenly obtained a Devil Fruit, where they are currently within the One Piece storyline. Now, a lot of people don't consider ViVi and Karoo a part of the Straw Hat Pirates, but it was stated by Oda in the SBS that they are actually a part of the Straw Hat crew, even though they are not with them. So I was like, why not? Why not make a video talking about ViVi and if she and Karoo obtained a Devil Fruit? Now, this is ViVi's video. I'll cover Karoo at a later time, but we are going to focus on ViVi, where she is currently. Now, currently in the One Piece story, we don't know where she is. Alright? Everything popped off at the Reverie. We still don't know all the details that happened there, but as the princess of the Alabasta Kingdom, I had to think of her position as a princess and as a future leader that will inevitably take over the kingdom. Now, as I was going through and I was thinking of Devil Fruits that would best suit her as a leader to her kingdom, I had to factor in what type of kingdom she has. Everybody knows the Alabasta Kingdom is a kingdom that is located within the desert. So the first fruit that I thought about was, okay, crocodile's fruit, obviously. But then I was like, no, I don't think that Devil Fruit would best suit her to benefit her people. So what is something that is needed the most in the desert? Water. Well, as it stands currently, there is no water Devil Fruit. Okay, so I had to think of the next best thing that could benefit the kingdom and produce water. And ladies and gentlemen, that Devil Fruit that I am here to talk about today is none other than Caesar Clown's Devil Fruit, the Gas Fruit. Now, this Devil Fruit is rather straightforward. It allows Caesar Clown to transform himself into gases, which makes it a Logia-based Devil Fruit. In addition to being able to transform into gases, he's able to produce this very poisonous gas from his body, which was actually able to handle the Straw Hat Pirates very well. I mean, we like to think of Caesar as just this big clown that isn't meant to be taken seriously, but he's like the upgraded version of Buggy. Right? Don't let his appearance and how his demeanor is take away from the fact that Caesar Clown handled Luffy fairly easy the first time they fought. But the biggest aspect about this, other than the fact that it's able to produce a poisonous gas, is this fact allows it to... The user has the power to manipulate other pre-existing gases in any given location. Now, what does that mean? That means that if ViVi was in possession of the Gas Logia Fruit, she could simply, if there was ever a drought, or maybe she just simply needed to provide rainwater for vegetation, she could simply just combine different gases and form rain clouds. It's entirely possible. Actually, there was a movie that came out in 2015 called The Martian, in which the man got trapped on Mars, and he had to do just that until NASA could send people to pick him up. He had to make rain, essentially rain in a bottle, and he had to be able to survive all that time. And there's a legitimate chemical composition of rainwater. Rainwater is a mixed electrolyte that contains varying amounts of major and minor ions. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, bicarbonate, and sulfate ions are major constituents. Together with ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, nitrogen, and other nitrogenous compounds, minor constituents are iodine, bromine, boron, iron, alumina, and silica. Dust particles are added locally. The source of these constituents are the ocean, freshwater, and saline lakes, land masses, vegetation, man-made industries, and volcanic emanation. In most studies of weathering processes, it has been assumed that rainwater has an average composition. Suggests that rain falling on a limestone area comes as close to approximating the system as any occurring in nature. Boom. Because of this, it is entirely possible, and let's just assume that Caesar Clown has access to literally every form of gas that is present within the One Piece verse, and let's just assume that the One Piece universe and the One Piece world mimics gases 100% like what we have here on Earth. ViVi with this Devil Fruit would be a godsend to the entire land of Alabasta and would have it flourish more than it has ever flourished before in the past. And on top of just the practical use of this devil fruit in terms of helping her country, she would also be a badass fighter. Alright, she would have access to all the forms that Caesar Clown has. You know, he put on the gas robe, which is a technique that he uses. He can transform himself into gas itself, making him impervious to physical attacks, even though fire does seem to be the biggest weakness of this devil fruit. He has access automatically to poisonous gases, and we saw him take on Luffy, in which he just sucked all the air out of the room. But then again, that does have a limited range on it. If you exit the circle where there's no oxygen, then the technique ends. But the biggest thing would be her being able to produce rain for her country. We also saw that Caesar Clown was more than capable of defending himself between the flame sword that he had and those, like, I don't even know what they're called. Those little things that he would clamp together and it would cause a spark, and he would emit gas, snap down on the little thingy-majigs on his hand. It'd cause a spark and it would ignite the gas that he produced. So ViVi would be more than capable of defending Alabasta if it came down to it. But yeah, this video was going to be rather short in and of itself. Not too much really to cover on it because she is not in the forefront of the Straw Hat Pirate crew. She doesn't really need a bounty. There's no combat feats that we can really see from her, and Karu's video is going to be coming after this. Nonetheless, if I did have to give her a bounty, I don't feel right giving her a bounty because she is royalty, right? If she technically received a bounty, then, you know, it would mean she could no longer be the ruler of the Alabasta Kingdom, and she would have to go and join up with the Straw Hat Pirates. So, but you know, hey, why not? Let's just say, for the sake of arguing sake, and because I want to do it, and I've done it for everybody else, and yes, Karu will get a bounty as well when it comes down for him. Karu will also get a bounty as well. If I had to, off the top of my head, with this devil fruit having no feats at all, thinking about what Caesar has done, we've seen what Caesar can do with the devil fruit, so maybe I should take some of his feats into consideration. I'd say I'd be comfortable with starting her off somewhere around 340 million berries. I think that's a good number. Just taking into consideration and really thinking about what all she can do, you know, being able to emit a poisonous gas, fighting her would be extremely difficult because if she produces enough of the gas and emits it out, breathing would become naturally more difficult. Something similar to what we saw with Magellan. He didn't necessarily have a gas form of his poison fruit, but once he like coated the entire room in poison, it would emit a smell or a nauseous gas to it, and it would start to affect the senses of Luffy that we saw. It would get difficult for him to breathe. His eyesight would be blurry and things of that nature because the gas that was emitted from the physical poison was so intoxicating to him that it made fighting hard. So even if you did fight ViVi with this fruit and the gas fruit, you would be on a time limit because it'd be harder for you to breathe. That and the fact that the gas is flammable, you'd have to be dodging explosions as well as trying to hold your breath at the same time. That's not even to mention if she does that technique that Caesar did where she starts to suck all the oxygen out of the room. It's a very dangerous game that you would be playing with ViVi, and it's a very dangerous game that Luffy played and the Straw Hat Pirates played with Caesar the Clown. Do I think things would have went differently Do I think things would have went differently if Law wasn't there to deal with Caesar? Potentially. I don't think it would have went the same way. I think they would have had a much harder fight. Could they have done it on their own? Maybe. Possibly. I don't see them dying. They are main characters. But that is all I have for y'all today on this video. If you are new, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. It lets me know you're rocking with the content that I put out on this channel. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, all that fancy stuff. And like always, keep it safe and wrap it tight. I'm out.
UAV standing by. Care package available for tasking.
UAV above, commencing surveillance operations. Timeline 50% expected.
Lives low. Make them count. Enemy UAV above. They're out of lives. Hunt them down.